What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video. My name is hughwizzy and you're watching Paper Talk. We are back again bright and early on a Monday morning to go through the latest breaking news for that air and see exactly what's making the headlines in the back pages of the most fraudulent publications available to man. We buy them so that you don't have to. Love to your mothers. I hope you're all doing well in these turbulent times, looking after each other because you know we're all we've got, people. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new and drop the video a damn like if you breathe oxygen. But for now, we got 5 fraudulent publications to be going through today, including The Guardian, The Daily Mirror, The Daily Star, The Daily Express and The Daily Mail. It's daily like Thompson. It's daily like Paper Talk. Let's get down to it.
This is for the ones who care.
And I'm delighted to announce that today's video is sponsored by none other than OneFootball, the perfect app to keep you up to date with all the live scores, stats from all the leagues around the world, the latest transfer news, and updates and articles about the teams that you follow. It's really useful for stuff like Fantasy Premier League, or if you're just a massive football obsessive like me. The link to download the app is in the description box below, so do give it a go and let me know what you think. And we start on the back of the Daily Mail today, who say, no dirty play, but what about dirty tricks? I scream. Gareth Southgate warning that he will give marching orders to players who are given marching orders for the Three Lions, as Kyle Walker becomes the first defender to be sent off for the country since 1977 and the first player to be sent off for England since Raheem Sterling 6 years ago, which makes him the first under Southgate's tenure. And the England boss has been stressing the importance of self-discipline, saying he knows he made an error that shouldn't have happened. But as you can see here, no dirty play, but what about dirty tricks? England were accused of cheating by Roy Keane. It says, get scuffed, JWP, no more Mr. Nice Guys. James Ward-Prowse saying that England have had to show a darker side to win matches. Roy Keane accusing the England midfielder of cheating against Iceland by scuffing the penalty spot before Iceland were about to take their penalty, which was awarded just seconds after England had scored theirs. But in the back of the Star, James Ward-Prowse has hit back at Roy Keane in this UEFA Nations League fallout by saying, I'm no cheat. Ward-Prowse did appear to rough up the penalty spot before Iceland's Birkir Bjarnason missed the late spot kick in England's 1-0 win in Reykjavik. And it's much the same in the back of the Express, who say, we'll take a dig. James Ward-Prowse saying that England should embrace the dark arts after he was accused of cheating in England's 1-0 win over Iceland, appearing to twist his studs into the penalty spot. The back of the Daily Mail focuses on the cricket, with England's victory in the T20 over Australia, and Novak Djokovic, who was booted out of the US Open, disqualified after hitting a ball into a ball girl's face, albeit completely accidentally. And we move over here to the only football story on the back of the Daily Mail by Matt Hughes. This is an exclusive, and it says, Premier League warning to the clubs, play or else. A fascinating story, really, because the Premier League clubs are being told that they must sign a guarantee that they will finish the season regardless of how many of their players go down with the rona. The only way that the Premier League will consider a game being postponed or cancelled is if a squad club cannot field 14 players. It says here that Premier League clubs have been told they will be forced to fulfil fixtures in the event of the rona outbreaks among their squads this season. The Premier League's determination to get the congested 2021 campaign being completed on time is such that clubs have been told requests for postponements will be rejected unless they have fewer than 14 players available, and that they will be obliged to use their under-21 squads to ensure that matches can be played. Now, the Premier League haven't actually released the results of the COVID-19 testing that's been taking place at their 20 clubs during pre-season, but there was a rash of positive tests recently during the players' summer holidays, with at least 14 players testing positive across 12 clubs. And on the back of the Guardian, we have quite literally no football whatsoever. A very Sorry affair here though, as Djokovic thrown out of the US Open after stray ball strikes line judge. I've got to say, she went down like a sack of potatoes and was rolling around like Neymar. Marcus Rashford has actually made the front of the Daily Mirror, as you can see here. It says, same old Tories, heartless and clueless. Rashford slamming a Tory MP on Twitter, the MP appearing to blame parents for struggling to feed their children. Rashford, who is clearly very much an anti-poverty campaigner now, responded to the MP and told him in no uncertain terms that he found his opinion quite laughable, and a classic example of how out of touch the government seemed to be with its people. He's actually on page 1 and 2 with anti-poverty charities, celebrities and politicians last night rallying around Marcus Rashford in his row with a Tory MP over comments on hungry children. This little bald fraud down here is Kevin Hollinrake, who appeared to blame mums and dads for struggling to feed their kids, even after the Manchester United star had forced Boris Johnson into a U-turn on scrapping free meals for poor pupils. And the response to Rashford's efforts have once again been fantastic, with lots of people saying that Tory MPs have a lot to learn from Rashford. He's an exceptional man using his platform to help others less fortunate. If only we could say that about the government. It's laughable to suggest that any parent doesn't want to feed their children. The fact of the matter is that because of the economic situation we find ourselves in, that is, for some, harder than others. Now, a quick apology to anyone that was expecting a paper talk on Saturday morning. Unfortunately, these little frauds had something to say about that. The Extinction Rebellion lot, who are potentially going to be treated as an organised crime group, basically stopped all the newspapers being delivered in the country, and as a result I waited for 2 hours but they didn't turn up. So unfortunately there was no paper talk on Saturday. We will be doing one Monday through to Saturday, unless of course these little frauds turn up and cause us a problem again. What they actually did was stop a load of vans who were supposed to be picking up and delivering the newspapers. Last night also saw Soccer Aid for UNICEF, a charity football match involving a whole bunch of celebrities, actors, YouTubers and former players like John Terry, Joe Cole and David James. It went to penalties after young Philly's incredible performance. Beautiful scenes, best player on the pitch, and most electrifying signing that the country have made for quite some time. Young Philly and Chunks up front. Chunks missing his spot kick, but young Philly getting an all-important goal for England at Old Trafford and looking absolutely over the moon, and rightly so. It was quite entertaining. They raised a record £11.5 million for charity, and we got to see some legends strutting their stuff. Kelly Smith, Claude Makelele, Michael Essien, and even the likes of John Terry and Gareth Barry. The match ended in penalties and England lost for the second year in a row. Light-hearted entertainment and all for a good cause. Sports fans could be allowed back into stadiums without social distancing within weeks, as ministers are currently drawing up plans to speed up the process of getting crowds back into big venues to help them to become financially viable again. Everyone is losing too much money, and I think regardless of the health implications, we are going to start seeing the gates being opened back up so that we can get back involved and spending all our hard-earned money. I say this because we are seeing quotes like this turn up more and more. We're still being cautious, but there's a gear change now to find a way to do this safely, and then people can make their own minds up. It's not massively reassuring, is it? Social distancing in theatres and sports won't work long term. It's not viable economically. Yeah, but is it viable like health-wise? We don't know yet. We're about to find out, and we're going to have to make our own mind up apparently as well. The new Premier League season does start on Saturday, and trials allowing fans back into Premier League grounds are being tested this month. Fans will have to sign up to a new code of behaviour, and management plans will be enforced with one-way entry. Initially, seating will be socially distanced. The plans to lift social distancing in venues must also be tried out. No trials will be scheduled for parts of the north, such as Bolton, which remains under strict lockdown. In the Mirror, we've got some extremely high praise for Raheem Sterling, who was one of the bright sparks in a very dull game against Iceland, who failed to have a single shot on target in the whole game. He has scored 9 goals in his last 10 international appearances, which proves, according to the paper, that he is desperate to be here, desperate to play, and desperate to stay on. Gareth Southgate singing his praises and becoming ever reliant on the 25-year-old Manchester City star. Newcastle United are closing in on a £20 million deal for Bournemouth striker Callum Wilson, as Steve Bruce looks to buffer out the squad with 3 new signings over the next 72 hours. They've had a £13.75 million bid accepted for Norwich City left-back Jamal Lewis, and they will also look to bring in Bournemouth's, former Bournemouth free agent Ryan Fraser on a free transfer. Bournemouth are keen to sign winger Matt Ritchie from Newcastle, and he could return to the Cherries if they can come to some kind of financial agreement. Ryan Giggs has said that his Welsh side have inherited his old Manchester United's use of Fergie time, with a stoppage time winner from Nico Williams the difference as they beat Bulgaria. Some more minutes for Gareth Bale, who looked rusty yet again, but ultimately this will have given Wales the confidence going forward, not only in the Nations League but also in the friendly that they have lined up against England next month. Christian Eriksen has said that he will defy politicians in Denmark and show solidarity with England by taking the knee before the Euro Nations League game against England tomorrow night. This is despite calls from politicians in Denmark not to mix politics and sport. However, Inter Milan's midfield star has said, "I don't see why it should be a problem of any kind. We all support the fight against all forms of racism." Chris Wilder's Sheffield United look like they're about to make 2 of the most exciting signings of the transfer window so far, looking to bring in 2 wing-backs, both from Derby, Jayden Bogle and Max Lowe, along with West Brom striker Oliver Burke. They say they've agreed a £15 million fee with Derby for the 2 fullbacks, and Lowe, who is an England under-20 international, had his medical yesterday. Barcelona forward Luis Suarez is due to sit a language test on Monday in a bid to obtain Italian citizenship, which will allow the Uruguay striker to complete the move to Juventus. West Ham will have to almost double their opening bid of £27 million if they want to land Burnley's centre-back James Tarkowski. AC Milan and Italian international Gianluigi Donnarumma has demanded a new contract worth €10 million a season amid interest from Chelsea. It says here that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spoken to Jadon Sancho about the potential move to Manchester United, and despite Gareth Bale's intention to leave Real Madrid, the Galacticos have received no bids for him. And apparently his unwillingness to cancel the last year of his contract could be the stickling point. Now I want to say a quick shout out to the newest members of the Fraud Gang Members Club. You are massively appreciated and helping this channel to grow. Please do subscribe if you're new and drop the video a damn like if you breathe oxygen. But there is breaking news for LS in that Manchester City players Riyad Mahrez and Mahrez Laporte have both tested positive for the coronavirus. Both the players are self-isolating and neither of them are displaying any symptoms. It's not clear when they contracted the virus and whether or not they'll be able to play in Manchester City's first fixture of the season, which is of course against Wolves on the 21st of September. You can always send me a picture of yourself watching the show. I will share on the Instagram story. But for now, I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying the daily content. If you are, make sure you smash the hell out of the like button. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. For now though, I've been hughwizzy and this has been a lot of fun. Peace.